From retro to next gen, we've got it all. I'm George, a Gen X grown-up, and this is Bit by Bit. Any retro gamer worth their salt is gonna remember an organization called Consumer Reports. Well, they're still around, ladies and gentlemen, and a couple of weeks ago they did a survey to discover if retro gaming is a trend, how it's going, why is all the attention happening. So this little article from Technics, yeah, that's probably how you pronounce that. Anyway, it's got all the data from the survey, which is really cool. I loved Consumer Reports when I was a kid. This is a very short article, won't take you any time at all to read, but they do have a link over to the Consumer Reports article that you can get some more detail on the survey. Anyway, I'd highly recommend going and checking this out if you want to know why retro gaming is so popular and at least what the people who answered this survey had to say about that. All right, here's a quick hardware bit from notebookcheck.com. I had to do a deep dive on this because I had never heard of the MSX standard, and it's a whole series. There's MSX, MSX2, MSX2 Plus, I think. But it was essentially a console cartridge standard that was really popular in Japan. I knew nothing about this, but this article goes into a little bit of those details, but it's mostly talking about a brand new laptop that has been developed that allows you to play the old MSX2 cartridges in the laptop just by plugging them into a front. Look, it looks like a little 8-track tape slot almost. I think that's damn cool. That's in the back of the thing. You've got some outputs there and everything, but yeah. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about this standard, just do a Google search real quick, read some Wikipedia articles. It's a really interesting platform, and there's a lot of stuff out there that I think would be a lot of fun to play if you happen to pick up this new laptop. Here's a bit of retro gaming news from Kotaku.com. This was a couple of weeks ago, but we're getting two Ninja side-scrollers. Both Ninja Gaiden and Shinobi are coming out with releases this year. The article goes into a little bit of the details on the publishing houses. We're getting Shinobi Art of Vengeance on August 29th. We've got the link to the trailer in the article, as well as Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. We've got that trailer as well in the article. I would head over there and check this out. It's a pretty short article, but at least you get direct links to the trailers. I love both of those series, and it's nice to know that we're going back to the 2D side of things after some somewhat disappointing 3D entries into both game fields. You know, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of some of those, but going back to 2D side-scrolling for these titles sounds like a win to me. Here's another bit all about the retro gaming wave that's sweeping the gaming community right now over at theguardian.com. What I really like about this particular article is it's not just highlighting, the stuff that every article is highlighting right now. Oh, retro gaming is awesome, and here's all these cool games from these old consoles and that sort of thing. This is really delving deep into the people who are picking up these old games and these old consoles, and it was a little bit of a surprise to me because I guess I just didn't expect. This article talks about how people in their 40s and 50s are picking up stuff from, our generation, but also people in their 30s who are picking up consoles because of their love for it, and even people in their 20s who are picking up this old retro gaming technology and playing with it and having a good time. I think it goes to show that you don't have to have big AAA titles that have millions of people subscribing and playing and whatever and buying all kinds of stuff. You can just pick up a Nintendo DS or a Super Nintendo or a PlayStation 1 or any of these consoles. Now, down at the bottom of the article, what I really like is they go into a couple of the popular retro consoles right now: Game Boy, SNES, the Xbox Original, my best friend ever, the Amiga. I love the Amiga 500. Had a lot of fun with that. They talk about the Amiga 1000 in this little snippet, but still. And Game Gear from Sega. I mean, just some really well-written and well-researched article that kind of makes me feel like it's not just a bunch of us old heads enjoying this retro gaming wave. And our friends over at TimeExtension.com have a review bit on the Mega EverDrive Pro, which is a flash cartridge for Genesis or Mega Drive. I took a look at this. It's very cool. I didn't have a Genesis, Mega CD. I had a Sega Dreamcast. That was the platform I came to that company with. But man, this is really interesting. So you can have this cartridge, you can plug it into your system, it has a flash drive slot, and then you can load and play all of your games that you've downloaded, that you've legally downloaded because you own the games, I'm assuming. And you can play them directly on your system. And apparently there is some competition out there. This article goes into talk about not just the Mega EverDrive Pro, made by this guy named Krigziz, which is apparently he's like the person doing these things in the industry right now. But there's also another one called the Mega SD. Now, the article author goes on to, after, going through the different points of differentiation between the two systems, his choice is the EverDrive Pro, which currently costs $199 over the Mega SD, which costs around $260, but apparently both work really well. So yeah, I mean, you got some images there of them. It looks really neat. Boy, if I was bigger into Genesis, and maybe I should get more into Genesis, this might be a really cool tool to have, to be able to play on my original console, but with all the benefits of a flash system on a little card. That, yeah, this would just make things so much easier, I think. That's going to do it for the news making headlines in the gaming world right now. I am George, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, and I'll keep on bringing you the news bit by bit.